Hello, and welcome to the I'll Buy the Popcorn podcast. I'm Alessandra.
And I'm Emily.
And today we are talking about House of Gucci, which was long awaited.
Yes, the new Ridley Scott movie. Starring the beautiful, the wonderful Lady Gaga and the beautiful and wonderful Adam Driver.
Uh-huh. Yep. And today I made a funny tweet about that because in the movie their daughter's name is Alessandra.
Yes.
So I tweeted today, just waiting for the day when I get to meet my parents, my real parents, Lady Gaga
Your
and
real
Adam
parents.
Driver.
Lady Gaga and Adam Driver.
And then I added to that tweet, "It's a me, Alessandra Ragucci."
No. No, Alessandra. No. Oh my gosh. I went and saw House of Gucci with my roommate, and when they said the name of their daughter, we both looked at each other like, Alessandra.
And they said that the daughter's name so many times, like constantly.
They did. You now know what it sounds like for Adam Driver to say your name.
And Lady Gaga.
And Lady Gaga.
Multiple times. I'll just make like
Multiple
a super
times.
cut because they said it like 15 times. I swear to God.
Yeah.
In real life, they both had, the couple had 2 daughters, but in the movie they just had 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So this was also the second Ridley Scott movie to come out this year. The first one was The Last Duel, which I didn't get a chance to see because I was very busy during the month of October, which I think is when it came out.
I was a little nervous to go see it because of a specific scene that I had heard about, and it didn't get the greatest of reviews, so I didn't think it was that important. The only reason I want to see it is because of Adam Driver.
Well, he's like the bad guy in the movie. But,
yeah, well, and that doesn't help either.
No, and like I think the reason I want to see it is just because it's a period drama. That's pretty much it, and I like Ridley Scott. He blamed the fact that no one went to go see that movie on the dumb superhero movies that are being released, which
isn't it always? Blame the dumb superhero movies that are coming out because it's true. They take all the money.
I just don't think that he really understands that like a period drama is not really like a major.
No,
like, it doesn't really rake in the money.
It's kind of a niche market, like people who like period, who like period historical stuff. So go ahead, blame it on the stupid superhero movies, whatever.
But this one, I know that his wife was very excited about producing. She's been wanting to make it for a very long time. Based off of a book, I guess.
Yes. I was reading that as I was reading some articles today.
What else did you learn in those articles?
I didn't have a whole bunch of time to look at articles, and unfortunately, a lot of like critiquing articles just talk about the plot of the movie, and I'm like, I watched the movie, I know what it's about. I don't need you to tell me like what happened in the movie. So I was trying to like skim.
Yeah.
But there was some interesting stuff about Patrizia, that she was known as, well, they say this in the movie, that she was known as Black Widow, or Lady Gucci. Mm-hmm. And there was like, I wonder if I can try and find the article again. I think it was The Guardian.
You just got really bright.
I know, it's because I opened up a window.
I learned that the house that they used in this movie, where Jeremy Irons' character, who's supposed to be Maurizio's father, it was this villa in Milan. The what's it called? Nice. Let me see. I sent it to you.
Yes, you did.
Yes, Villa Necchi in Milan was the house that was used for Jeremy Irons' character, and I was watching it and I was like, I recognize this house. I really do. And then I went home and I looked it up, and the house was the same exact house as in I Am Love. And
Yep.
I called it. I told Danny, I was like, I'm pretty sure that's the same house that was in I Am Love. And he's like, okay. And then I read this article about it, and it said cinephiles may recognize this house as the one from Luca Guadagnino's I Am Love. And I was like, I I think I have peaked. I can't believe that I noticed it.
Cinephiles. I don't like that term.
You don't like that term? It's like a very widely used term though, so it can't be really contested at this point.
And weirdly enough, I heard it for the first time just a couple years ago. Like it's a fairly new term to me that I don't like to use, so I don't use it.
Is it just the word philia that you don't like, which means love?
I don't like how you like say it too. It's just I don't know. It doesn't like roll off the tongue very nicely. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think it's very easy to say.
Movie lovers just is. It doesn't
a little corny.
Yeah, it's corny. Exactly.
It's not sophisticated.
Right.
I guess cinephiles is a bit more sophisticated, I guess. But yeah.
So what did you find out?
We just need to get into this movie. The article didn't have anything interesting in it. It was just, it was not very interesting. Again, it was just going over the plot of the movie, and it was kind of useless. I was trying to find the Roger Ebert one, but I don't know if they did one. I usually like to read theirs.
Yeah, right. And we'll talk about it when we talk about the Metacritic, but this movie was 2 hours and 37 minutes long. It was very long.
Sure was. And I felt it. I felt it in my bladder. I need to stop drinking soda during movies, because 2 times in a row, this happened during Spencer and this happened during House of Gucci. I don't want to get up and miss a part of the movie.
Yeah. So
I'm sitting there in agony.
Oh my god, it's so long though. Oh no.
I only had to start, like, it was towards the end. I could deal. I knew it was almost done, so I was like, I'll deal. My bladder hated me, but it's fine. It's fine. I just need to stop drinking during movies. I had a very large root beer, and need to stop giving in to the soda while I'm there. But yes, it was very long. It felt long, even though I did enjoy it. It was a fun movie. It could have been more fun.
Yeah.
Especially with the fun soundtracks, like the fun soundtrack with all the fun like pop songs, 80s songs that were playing throughout. Mm-hmm. And I could have used a bit more baby stepping. Like, I kind of needed like some years. I needed some locations, like maybe a little description of who people were, because like I didn't know who Jack Houston was throughout the entirety of the movie. I didn't know if he was in the family. Yeah. I didn't know who he was. He was just there. He did a great job.
They didn't explain it, really.
They didn't explain anything. and for someone who went to fashion school, I know nothing about the Gucci family, or Gucci as a brand in general. So I needed some baby stepping, and I didn't get it. But all in all, I still enjoyed the movie. Probably wouldn't watch it again, but I did enjoy watching it.
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting, like, combination of characters, because that's kind of just generally what it was just watching the members of this family in their interpersonal relationships and stuff. So that was, like, fun, because you could see how well, like, Lady Gaga and Adam Driver's as Patrizia and Maurizio, as their relationship kind of crumbled. And Wyatt did, because she became very power hungry. But she also she was kind of the protagonist of the movie, and you were really rooting for her the whole time. So even towards the end, when she started to get a little bit wild, it turns out that she was right about being the leader of Gucci and leading the brand into a bit more. But yeah, I agree with you. Like, it kind of would have been better if there was a little bit more, like, interaction with the brand or interaction with, like, other people other than the family, you know? I don't know. They did have, like, a lot of the points of it. And so I thought it was fun because of all of the different scenes and hairdos and outfits and jewelry and, you know, kind of just the wildness of this Italian family, you know, these Italian people.
Yeah, it was, the costumes were amazing. I really liked hearing about like just the history of Gucci, like how what's his name? Rodolfo? No, not Rodolfo. That was Jeremy Irons' character, right? Or
Yeah. Aldo.
What
Aldo is Al
Aldo.
Pacino. Mm-hmm.
How Aldo like made those counterfeit purses and was selling them, and they made like a huge profit for Gucci because like not a lot of people could actually afford the brand, but they still want the logo, they still want the Gucci name, and I think that's super smart. And it's and you know, I know that a lot of the family didn't like that, like, well, I mean, Patrizia didn't like it, and then ergo like Adam Driver didn't like it, or Maurizio didn't like it, but that's like really smart though, like being in control of your own like off-brand stuff, like,
Yeah. And just having because like the way that Patrizia was going at it was be like, this cheapens the brand. And he was like, no, this makes people want the brand even more. Like, it doesn't cheapen us. It actually elevates us. And I could like see where he was coming from on that aspect.
It's like, this brand is so hot that people want counterfeit. Like, people want to make counterfeit. Like,
yeah. And speaking of that, like, Al Pacino's performance was, I mean, like, next to Lady Gaga, the best in the movie. It really was, his character was so Italian. And I mean, Al Pacino is an Italian man, but he's an American Italian. But it's just like, it was so well done, and so, like, the nuances of his performance were amazing. Like, he really did a good job with this character and making you feel for this, like, 70-plus-year-old man, instead of him just being kind of, like, lofty, like Jeremy Irons' character.
yeah.
It really was, like, so much, I don't know, like, it might just be Al Pacino and the way he acts, but he's just really great, you know. It's just like peak him, you know?
He felt the most like genuine. Everyone kind of felt like a caricature in a way.
Yeah, I agree.
But
yeah.
he felt the most like genuine, like very realistic.
Yes. Yeah.
And just when he was on the screen talking, I was like, okay, I can like I can focus a little bit, because everyone was so flashy and loud, and
their accents
like,
were insane.
They all of them had such a very different accent. It was a lot. Like, even and like Jared Leto did a great job too, but even his accent got so annoying. I think it's funny. This article I was reading, like, described him as like he was speaking to whales, because he was like so high pitched.
Yes.
And just so like, ooh, wow. Like, he just was. It was so funny.
He did a good job playing like a clown, if that's what they wanted him to do. But the accent was so distracting. It was like very difficult to understand these people, because every word they were saying in Italian, like, Italian is a very fast language, and they were all speaking it in English as if they were speaking in Italian. So it was very, very slow. And I think, you know, obviously you can't make a movie, like, Ridley Scott couldn't make this movie with just Italian actors speaking Italian. Like, he couldn't be a Luca Guadagnino, because this wouldn't have been such a big film, you know? And, you know, not everybody can do that, so it was spoken in English, but it's just like, it really would have been better if it was in Italian.
I agree.
It would have been so much better. Like, if at least mingled English and Italian, it would have had so much more. so just every conversation should have been in Italian because
it would have had a lot
Italian.
more like strength. Like I
Yes.
mean,
Yeah,
like
I
just
agree.
the fact that everyone was talking these very thick like Italian accents, um and the subtitles were very like spotty too, like when they would give them to
Yeah,
you.
it was.
It was just very random.
Yeah.
So that was that. I was trying to see if, like, of course Jared Leto's makeup was like, he was completely unrecognizable. I didn't even know Jared
Totally.
Leto was in this movie for the longest time until I like really like watched the trailer and it said Jared Leto and I was like, oh, which one? And then I had to look it up.
He's playing Al Pacino.
Yeah, of course. He still looked a little cakey, but I still thought his makeup looked really good.
Yeah, definitely. Makeup was really,
really
good.
good.
Hairstyling was very good. Like, all of that was amazing. The production design was over the top gorgeous, for sure. Really did a good job.
Yeah.
Definitely, I see some Oscar noms for this in those categories because it's brilliant. It's just brilliant. So.
Yeah, and I'm so glad we can now. If anyone's watching on YouTube right now, you could see Alessandra's picture. I'm so glad that we can include Adam Driver in our white sweater club, our knitted white sweater club.
Yes, there's a handful of men in there. This one is.
This is now we got a picture of Adam Driver in a white knitted sweater. That's great. So now we've got, who do we have? We've got Benedict, JJ Field, right? And then
Chris
Adam
Evans.
Driver? Is that it?
Chris Evans as
Chris
well.
Evans.
You
Chris
can't forget
Evans.
that's like an iconic sweater.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was just thinking of the really far back ones, like Third Star and stuff like that. And then now, did Luke Evans ever have a white sweater? Probably not in a movie, but I think in like a photo shoot.
Totally. I mean, they're coming back, especially after Chris Evans's ransom sweater. That was like a big thing. But also, Salma Hayek was in this movie. Did you know that she was in this movie?
No. Until I saw her. My roommate was really excited about the guy that played Tom Ford. He's apparently on Broadway in Hadestown.
Yes, he is. I saw him in Hadestown. Yep.
He was really good too. He's
a really good singer, actually. He's very good. I that's where I recognize him from. Thank you for reminding me. Yes, I've seen him.
This is everything that they told me. I have no clue what any of that meant, but I said it. But now I know it.
He was cute.
And again, would have been nice to know that he was Tom Ford.
Right. Yeah. No, we found out
really
later, which kind of was fine. I mean,
it's whatever.
I figured it out, just because
there's a time and a place for hand holding, and I just felt like I needed it. I needed it during this movie.
Ridley Scott does not like doing that, and he
does. Okay, I mean, I can appreciate that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I can appreciate him as a director because he just wants you to figure it out for yourself and kind of come to your own conclusions about things. That's generally what he's like as a director. I mean, all the things I've seen that he's directed, it's like, it's kind of vague. It's up in the air. There's no answers. It's just kind of like, okay, this is what we've presented to you. We're not going to hold your hand. It's like that with all of his sci-fi. It's just kind of like, this is the world you're living in. Figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. He's old. What can I say? He's been in the movies forever. He's like 90-something years old.
Really?
I got it. I got to see. Just like, he was born in 1937. So
1937?
November 30th, 1937. So,
oh my gosh. Happy belated birthday. Happy belated birthday, Ridley.
I don't think he's how old is he? 84,
That's math.
85. I'm so bad at math. Um, yeah. He's 84. Oh my god, I fucking wow. Got that right. What it look
You just
like.
mathed that up.
He wasn't
That was
90.
really good.
He's not 90, but he's old.
No, he's not 90. Thank goodness.
Yeah. He's great.
I don't really know what else to talk about with this movie because like I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. So I'm just kind of in the like I'm just sort of like feelings mutual, man. Like I'm just kind of in the middle here. And I don't.
Yeah. I agree with you. I came out of that thinking, okay, that was kind of exactly what I thought it was going to be. I wish it was a little bit more fun, like you said.
Yeah, the trailer made it sound like it was going to be. I wasn't expecting like, Man from U.N.C.L.E. or anything crazy like that, but like, just something a bit more. Like, people are saying that it's a comedy. I did not laugh during this movie.
Oh, I think it's
so
like the situation. I don't know. Like,
it's yeah, sure, probably just a situation.
It doesn't say that on the IMDb. It says it's crime and drama. So.
Okay, I think one of my articles said that it's like one of the genres they gave it was like comedic, and I was like, okay, but maybe it's just the situation.
I mean, Jared Leto was playing a clown, so
yeah. But, like, I wasn't laughing at him. I was mostly sad. Like, sad. The one part I did find really funny was when Jeremy Irons was like, you're putting pastels with brown.
Yes. And his face. And also when, like, I mean, him getting, like, Jared Leto's, like, character just kind of not understanding the concept that his cousins were like totally like his cousin was totally backstabbing him, so he was just like in that sad that scene where he was at the car with them, like
outside the church.
Yeah, that was like hard to watch because for one, his accent was so cartoonish.
Oh my god.
And then two, it was like you're over explaining this situation. It was just a very interesting screenplay. Like Again, like, it just would have been better if it was in Italian. Like, everything would have been a lot more seamless and comfortable if it was in Italian. It felt like everybody was, like, uncomfortable the whole time trying to become these characters. Like, Lady Gaga felt the most comfortable. Like, Al Pacino and Lady Gaga felt, like, so... Like, and obviously Adam Driver, but his character was a lot more subtle. But, like, their characters were a little bit more into it and stuff. So they were just, like... very like it felt like they were really their characters. Like Lady Gaga was like so good. Like she really was this person and this like Italian matriarch kind of like character. Like just really well done. She's like a total movie star.
And it worked for Adam Driver, like, talking slowly and, like, kind of doing things slowly because he was very, like, he was very methodical. He was very, like, he was very smart. Like, he was going to school to be a lawyer, and he was very nerdy. And, like, in the very beginning of the movie, he's not very confident, and he's very just, like, he's just kind of doing things at his own pace and just kind of keeping to himself. And then when Patrizia comes along and starts, like, putting ideas in his head, and he, like, kind of becomes more, like, confident, he kind of becomes a bit more, like, strategic and conniving. Like, it really worked well for Adam Driver's character to not be so, like, fast-paced and be very, like,
definitely
just jumpy.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the other characters. So, and I really liked the flip of his character, where he was just, like, very innocent in the beginning, and then, like, Patrizia seemed like the person who was the bad guy. But then, like kind of the not the fame, but, like, the money and the power probably got to his head by the end because, he's a Gucci and he was in charge of everything by the end. And then no one is in charge of anything. Like, it's crazy how, like, none of them have any of the name by the end of the movie. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Like, it's really funny.
And that it was kind of just stolen by Domenico in the end. Because he was like, well, this is how we're going to... Because in the end, Gucci is about money. So they need to make money because they're a business. And it's like, they were saying that, like, Jeremy Irons was kind of the last, like, he really cared about Gucci making money and stuff, and then it just, like, but he didn't, like, instill, like, they didn't instill those values under their sons, like, both, you know, Aldo and Rodolfo didn't actually, like, teach their family how to be CEOs and how to run, you know, it's like how to run a business. You need to know how to do that. And they just, like, didn't do that. So then they just expected it to be okay when they took the reins, and they couldn't. Like, because how are you supposed to run a multinational, huge name brand without any knowledge of how to do so, really? You know?
Yeah, without knowing, like, your market. And Aldo seemed to be the one who really knew that. Like, he wanted to put Gucci in malls. He wanted to, you know, he did the knockoff stuff. Like, he was really catering to the different markets, where Rodolfo was just like, Gucci is Gucci. If you're wealthy enough, you'll pay for it. Like, it's art, it's craftsmanship. It belongs in a museum. Like, it's not just fast fashion.
Well, yeah, exactly. So it might have turned into fast fashion if Aldo had not been arrested.
Yeah.
Which was also kind of hilarious. Like, Jared Leto's character just not knowing that he was going to send his father
accidentally sending his father to jail and then feeling terrible about it. They were so cute at the end, though,
I know.
when, like, his father finally comes back and he's like, I missed you, and
I didn't know they were going to send you to jail. He's such an idiot.
I didn't know.
Stupid. Well, in real life, God, like, that person wasn't that stupid. It's just, like, they just had to write, like, a funny, like, an interesting character, you know? Like, all these people are caricatures of real people. They're not, like, supposed to be taken literally. But Italians are very, like, headstrong. And, you know, they're a lot, like, louder and more interesting. So it makes sense that they would, like, want to be this kind of, like, cartoonish way, because in a sense they can be, you know. But it's just, like, again, if it was played by Italians, maybe it would have been better. And not so cartoonish.
Played by Italians, or if it wasn't taking itself too seriously.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Cause it's like you had these English speaking people with Italian accents, like, and all very, very cartoonish, and it's still, the movie was it was taking itself, like, very seriously.
Right, because Lady Gaga was giving this performance, like, she was really given a good, serious performance the whole time, you know, and, like, she was the center of the whole movie, so.
Yeah. And I liked how she played her character, where it wasn't, like, super, it didn't feel like super obvious that, you know, she was a gold digger. Like, you know, we had those assumptions from Jeremy Irons' character being like,
yeah,
this lady's obviously going after you for your money. Like, she knows who you are. And, but then, you know, it really seems like they loved each other in the beginning, and, you know, they had a kid, and he was cut off from the family, like, for a long time, like for a very long time.
Years, yeah.
Until they had their baby. And right when, like, Rodolfo, like, died, basically, that's kind of when they were kind of coming back into the family. But then it just, I don't know, you just see, it's also kind of like a mental movie too. Like, you just see how this family just, like, makes you act and makes you, like, your mind, like, go crazy. Like, because Patrizia, like, it looked like she went crazy, like, with being paranoid about her husband cheating on her, which he was, and then
planned his murder, you know, like,
and then seeing the psychic and just listening to what the psychic says, and then just landing on, gotta murder him, gotta kill him.
I know, it's so drastic. So you have to think about her mental state of mind at that time. Like, why would she want to murder her husband? And that's the question of the whole movie. That's the screenplay's main purpose. So
how did we get to this point?
Yeah. but it really seemed
and like maybe a little bit more of a deep dive into that would have been a bit cool.
I agree with you. Yes.
Kind of really getting into that, like that mind fuckery and just being like, this family's insane, they're making me insane, and then just having her go fucking insane. Like, because that is such a 0 to 100, like...
Yeah. It didn't show us exactly when the cracks started happening. It was kind of like right when they got, like, their taxes fucked up or something. Like their finances were kind of, like, on the rocks, so then the Italian government came in to see them, and then
it was like seizing their house, their like assets and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And they had to go to Switzerland to
Switzerland, right?
Which he rode like his
hide
bike
out, basically.
Yeah, so great. Yeah, so it was just like, okay, so now you're there. They just had so much money they didn't know what to do with it, and like pushed too much in one direction, not the other. And the family aspect was interesting because I did like when he was like, you made me do this to my cousin, you made me put Aldo into prison, basically. Like, he was like, how does that make me feel that I've pushed away my family? And you know, he did it, but it was just like, how you know, he tried to like put on the blame onto his wife when it was also his fault too. Like, it was both of them. Like, it wasn't just, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
They just disagreed on things, and so those were the beginnings of the cracks, and that's how she eventually wanted to murder him, I guess. Like,
I guess. That just seems like such a far leap.
She did it, though. I mean, the real life lady did do it. Like, she really did murder her husband and did go to prison for 25 years, which is just, it's crazy. Apparently her daughters are a lot more sympathetic with their mother because they think that during that time she was really in a bad mental state, and then, you know, paid somebody to murder her husband, which, okay, just seems like something that would really have to convince me that you did the wrong thing. And then you did the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Which may be the truth, but killing somebody is very drastic, so.
It's very drastic. It's a very, very big thing to do.
It is.
Very big.
Yeah, so. You know. It's crazy that this is, like, true, though.
Right? And I couldn't help but feel bad for Maurizio because because like he was so happy, like, working at the truck place and just being with Patricia having his kids, and just being away from his crazy family, he was happy.
Money like ruins people, like it really it, because then you're kind of like you always have somebody who wants something from you. So when you have money, it's like you don't really have any real friends.
No.
You're completely isolated, and you know, it is kind of like similar to a monarchy. I mean, it's called House of Gucci, but I'm just like, you got to think about like what their priorities are, you know, and it's like their priorities were not all aligned, and therefore they fell apart. So
yeah. They were a very divided family based on what they wanted for the brand.
Yep.
And for the company. And, you know, maybe, I don't know, maybe Aldo and Rodolfo needed to, like, figure this shit out before they died. Like, before Rodolfo died.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, they were also at odds. And then Rodolfo died. And so it was like, well...
Without signing his shares, which brings us to, like, the forgery part where...
Oh my god, yes.
Which Casey called it. Like, the second that the thing wasn't signed, Casey was like, she's gonna forge it. Well, and, like, because they had that very quick thing in the beginning of her forging the checks, which I had completely forgotten about by this time because
I remembered.
5 hours had passed, and now we're here. So it's just like... I'm like, oh... Right. She does that.
Yeah, she's good at that.
She's good at that.
You know, how would they be able to... Like, she had that conversation with Domenico, and he was like, oh, well, apparently those were forged. And she's like, well, who the fuck told them? Because you're the only person who knew about this, so you must have told them. Like,
yeah, then at the very end, when Adam Driver was like, she was right. You were planning to betray us this whole time. Like, it's just, wow.
He betrayed them by telling on them that it was a forged signature. Like, no one would have known about that.
Yeah.
How are you supposed to know? He was the only one who knew. Oh, Jack Houston.
He did really good, too.
I love that Jack Houston is in, like, more stuff, and he's also part of a, you know, royalty, like a Hollywood royalty family, the Houstons. Mm-hmm. Yep. And so whenever he's in things, I feel like he's kind of like a hidden character. Like, people probably don't really pay attention to him because he's not really usually the main character of things. So
yeah. He's like a hidden gem.
He's a hidden, like, yeah, like, oh, there's Jack Houston, nephew of John Houston, and or like grandson of John Houston and nephew of Angelica Houston. Just in there.
just that's him. That's him.
Yeah.
Hollywood royalty.
Yeah. It matches. Like, I think Al Pacino in this, again, like, I love seeing him in Italian roles. It just makes me feel like I want to watch The Godfather again because I love him so much.
Ooh, we should. I haven't seen The Godfather in so long.
Al Pacino is such a babe in that movie, and he is so good. We gotta watch the first two again. We just gotta...
I've never seen the second one, I don't think.
It's like one of the best sequels of all time. It's like...
We should do that as part of our classic. I know we usually do like older movies, like when...
Yeah.
When Ridley Scott was born, but...
For sure, 37.
But I think...
He was born before Gone with the Wind.
I think we could make this exception.
He was born before Wizard of Oz, man.
Oh, wow. That's a date.
That's a date. That's a real date. I also wanted to propose that we watch the old West Side Story and the new West Side Story.
I've seen the old West Side Story, but I will gladly watch it again. I remember I got it from Netflix, DVDs.
Yeah, DVDs.
Because which I am so tempted to get those again because they got some great stuff on Netflix DVDs sometimes. But back when I had it, I remember I was still living at my parents' house and we were doing a puzzle, I think, and I was barely paying attention, but because it was so long. I remember being really long.
It's a good movie.
But technically I've seen it, but I will watch it again so that we can talk about the new West Side Story, which I'm very excited about, actually.
Yeah. So
yeah, I think is that it for House of Gucci? Let's take a look at these plot keywords.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go to the Metascore website because it is not on IMDb.
It's not on IMDb?
I don't see it. It doesn't have it.
What?
It doesn't have it on here. Which is wild. It like hardly never does that.
Who's not doing their damn job?
Yeah.
Who's not doing their damn job at IMDb?
I don't know. I really don't.
What the heck? Oh my goodness. Okay. So the plot keywords we've got for House of Gucci are fashion, based on true story, work, job, brand.
Job, brand.
Okay. Work, job, brand. Come on, we need like Italian in there. Italy, all right.
Yeah.
Betrayal, romantic, gold digger. These are all really good.
All right. Let me get on the
Italian socialite. There we go. We needed that.
There it is.
Italian socialite.
When Rodolfo was like, "So what are your interests?" She goes, "Well, I like to socialize."
I'm very good at socializing.
I'm got a really bubbly personality. I'm like, is that an interest?
I don't know. I'm definitely not interested in being social. Like, that's not a hobby of mine. To be social. I don't go out of my way to be social.
Yeah, it was pretty clear that she was a socialite.
Yeah.
Okay, so this movie got a 59 Metascore. I had to go to Metacritic.com to go to this. Which I figured was going to be it. It's got actually quite a lot of positive reviews. It says 28 positive reviews, 26 mixed reviews, and 3 negative reviews. So it's not like this was bad. It's not like people were like, this movie sucks ass. Because, like, some people did, but not everybody.
Yeah, and before even looking at the Metascore, I mean, I couldn't because it wasn't on IMDb, but I wouldn't have. But at the very end of the movie, my roommate was like, "How was it? Out of 10?" And I was like, oh, like maybe like a 6.
Yeah, I give it that too because it was pretty good, but you know, definitely had some flaws.
I was trying to determine if the screenplay was good. Like a lot of it was good, but I feel like some of it was a little eh.
I thought it was.
Right,
I thought it was fine. I didn't have like a lot of qualms with it. I thought it was like decent.
Yeah.
Oh, did you notice that?
Oh, what?
That time when she told Maurizio that she was pregnant, and then they fly to New York, and they go to see Uncle Aldo, which they should have been calling him Zio the whole time. Drove me fucking nuts because they were saying things in Italian and then saying things in English, and I was like, why are you saying it? Like, just say the word. Anyway, and she was supposedly pregnant in New York, but she was in the bathtub, and she had a glass of champagne with her, and then when she went out to drink with Aldo and Maurizio, she had a glass with like whiskey in it or something. I mean, it could have not been whiskey, but it looked like it. I was like, is this lady freaking drinking? She's pregnant.
Yeah.
I mean, she was
I saw that too.
but
I was like, isn't she? And which again,
it was a weird time. Like, why did they do it like that?
And again, with what I was talking about, like, I mean, I'm more than certain that this wasn't like, you know, after she'd already given birth.
No,
like, the baby wasn't born
yet. She had
yet.
the baby
like,
after that.
Yeah.
It was really odd. Like, I was like, because then also, Aldo had 2 birthdays. So, like, a whole year went by between. But Aldo gave them Concorde tickets the year before, but they didn't even use them for the whole year. And then they decided to use them the second time they saw him for his birthday. The airplane tickets to New York.
They didn't go till after his second birthday?
Yes, they didn't go to New York until the first time until after. When they had already been like kind of like Patrizia was like courting him as her, you know, the niece.
I don't know.
Yeah, all right. It just seemed weird to me. Okay. Let's find this.
And how are those 4 children carrying that huge ass cake? Like with coordination.
That was a heavy cake.
The cake was huge.
It had to be made out of cardboard. There's no way.
Those little string bean kid arms cannot carry this pizza. This cake. Cannot carry this pizza pie.
Ragazzi.
Little string bean kids cannot carry that cake.
Yeah.
That cake was ginormous. It would have been so heavy. But that's besides the point. All right, let's look at these Metascores. Here we go. I'm going to read the lowest one, because you know me. I'm a very negative person.
Oh, yeah, let's read
these negative scores. Here we go. The New York Post gave it a 25. The abysmal Gucci would get a better grade, perhaps, if it was a term a term paper titled How to Make the Assassination of a Famous Person Boring. Wow. I mean, I don't disagree with it.
I'm gonna read the CNN 55. It says, House of Gucci takes a seemingly can't-miss combination of talent and material and produces what feels like the knockoff version of a really grand drama. Lady Gaga and Adam Driver bring buzz to director Ridley Scott's dive into the dysfunctional family behind the fashion empire, but in a movie that doesn't quite rise to the level of delicious trash, winding up largely defined by its stylish accessories.
Yeah, we need some delicious trash.
That's what we needed, which we got a little bit in the beginning with Patrizia's she was like a very vibrant character, especially in the very beginning, attracting Maurizio, dancing, 70s, like fun stuff like that, going around Italy really beautifully, so
yeah,
that was definitely a lot more exciting and quicker paced in the beginning as well. So
for sure. And then I was looking at this ABC News, the 70. They gave it a 70. Mm-hmm. Amid the jumble of fake Italian accents and the overall too muchness, an Oscar-ready Lady Gaga is flat out fabulous. Is this ravishing soap opera of high fashion and higher crimes outrageous camp, or The Godfather and designer duds? I'm calling a toss-up. Oh, I read this article today. It's one of the articles I read.
I'm calling a toss-up. Yes, it's kind of a toss-up. I'm going to read this 100. There's only one 100 on here from Mick LaSalle in the San Francisco Chronicle. And this guy,
all right,
he loves Ridley Scott. Okay.
He does. Oh my God.
Scott
He's simping for him.
Scott is having a remarkable year.
Okay.
To be exact, he's having a remarkable season. Less than 2 months ago, Last Duel was released, and it was Scott's best film in years. Now the even better House of Gucci is his best film in years, and it's different from his previous work.
Wow.
My friend watched his HBO show, Raised by Wolves, and apparently that is pretty good. So.
Oh yeah?
I mean, it's apparently so fucking weird. Which I'm, that's fine.
Is it the one, Raised by Wolves, is that the one with the lady from Westworld in it? Or no? Different one?
I don't think it has anybody who I recognize in it.
Okay.
But that was like...
I'm thinking of a different one.
Yeah, HBO Max.
And is that... Did Ridley Scott do that? Or
yeah.
Why did you bring it?
Yeah. He's like the creator of it.
Okay, I see.
I don't even think it was like based off anything. I could be wrong, but let me just look. Let me figure it out right now. He's done a lot of things. So
yeah,
he's been around for a long time, like a really, really long time. He was like a producer of Pillars of the Earth and a producer of World Without End. Remember those shows we love so much? He's been a producer of so many things. This guy just he's
he
great.
Really likes historical stuff.
Yeah, he does.
That's awesome.
Okay, yes, he was the executive producer of Raised by Wolves.
And Prometheus, we love Prometheus, and The Martian. I really enjoyed The Martian.
Yeah, I mean, that one's fun.
Yeah.
Blade Runner is my favorite film of the 80s, so what am I going to say? I can't...
Blade Runner? Damn, yeah.
I can't, like, he's made so many movies that there's bound to be ones that aren't that great in there, because it's like, he just loves to make stuff, so what are you going to do?
Yeah. And you can't have, like, not all of them can be great. They can't all be great. I mean, you could try. You could definitely try.
Yeah, but...
You can. They can be great, but they don't have to.
But he doesn't ever really, like, let things stop him from making things. Like, he loves to make stuff, and that's what he does. And that's, you can really...
And that's what we want.
Yeah.
We want gumption.
Yeah. Straight white male has gumption. Who knew?
Oh man, it's just I forget about Ridley Scott as a director, but like there are actually some movies by him that I really do like a lot. So I just forget about him.
Don't tell him that.
I'm sorry, Ridley. I'm sorry, I love you.
I'm sorry, I will never forget 90. You. I'm sorry.
I will never forget you again.
Yeah.
I'll never forget you again. All right. Is that all we have for House of Gucci? I think it is. I think we've over-welcomed our stay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was House of Gucci. If you enjoyed this episode, please rate and review our show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Stitcher. We are also on Amazon Music and Spotify, if that's where you prefer to listen to your podcasts. If you need notifications on future episodes that we release, please follow our social media. We have Twitter, @ByThePopcorn, Instagram, @AllByThePopcorn Podcast, Facebook, just search All By The Popcorn Podcast and like and follow our page. And please follow us, subscribe to us on YouTube. If you're watching this, thank you. We actually recorded video for this one, so if you want to check that out, please head to YouTube. Just search All By The Popcorn Podcast and subscribe to our channel. And we have a TikTok. Just search All By The Popcorn Podcast and find our logo. And if you want to reach out and say hello, you can email us at allbythepopcornpodcast@gmail.com. And please check out our merch. It is still the holiday season. If you want to give your loved ones some All By The Popcorn merch, I'm sure they'd love it. So please check that out. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you in the next one. Goodbye.
Bye.